Welcome back to Classic Mix-Up Podcast, on to episode number 20. It's kind of a milestone for us.
20 episodes, brother.
Yes. Well, if you don't know, I'm Rosario.
And I'm Riley.
And Classic Mix-Up Music Podcast. We talk about music for 20 weeks so far. And
20 weeks.
Hopefully 20 more to come and many more. So,
yeah. For sure, man. It feels good. 20 feels good. I didn't know it was 20 until you said that, and I looked up at our little banner that we have here. It's 20, and I'm like, whoa, man, this is crazy.
I think last week I did mention, like, when it was episode 19, I was like, man, every time I look at the number, it just feels like I can't believe how far we made it. But not to be sentimental or anything.
Easy. It's easy.
Yeah, it is easy.
I just roll out of bed and then listen to an album every week. At one point. That's all I have to do.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, we're going to listen to music anyways, so we figured we might as well talk about it, and now here we are.
It keeps me listening to new music. So.
Yeah, totally. Like, speaking of, today we've got some albums.
Installment of the new music week?
Yeah. So we did this a couple times, like, a few months ago. I feel like there wasn't really like a stacked week in a while, but the last, this past Friday, which would have been March 30th, and then the week before that, those were both pretty good weeks for music. And so we've got some of our new albums that we listened to over the month of March, and we're going to be going through those and talking about them today, just for so what we normally do is like a more in-depth analysis of like two albums usually, but I think today we have like about like 5 or 6 or maybe more that we're just going to kind of like gloss over and say what we liked, what we didn't like, and maybe recommend some. So yeah,
exactly.
Cool.
Yeah. So I mean, I know we kind of talked about this before, but the only album that we both didn't listen to was that. Do you want to do the Fall Out Boy album too, or?
Yeah, I can touch on that. I mean, so
I didn't listen to the Fall Out Boy album that dropped. Rosario did, and he didn't listen to Lana Del Ray, and I listened.
Yeah, so I guess we should probably start with those two. So those two dropped, I think, a couple weeks ago. I'm not sure, but I used to be a pretty big Fall Out Boy fan, like back in the day. I went to their concert. I've been at one of their concerts twice now, and they kind of helped get me into like rock music. So. When they released their first album in, I want to say like 5 years, a couple weeks ago, I was definitely interested to see what it was all about, and I gotta say it was decent, probably better than I expected, because their last album,
Mania or whatever.
Yeah, I was not really a fan of that at all. And honestly, that dropped in, I think 2018 was kind of when I was getting out of like that emo kind of alt rock phase. That was kind of my time and all that, but I was kind of getting out of it at that point, so it never really like hit that hard for me, but I still can appreciate their music. So they dropped their album So Much for Stardust, and for this album they went back to their old producer. I believe his name is Neil Avron, who he produced their first, I want to say, like 4 albums up until 2008 when they did their hiatus. Then they obviously kind of switched their sound when they came back. But this one does have, at least for the albums that have come out, post 2010, this does have their most like the closest they'll probably get to like their old sound. So it was cool. It was entertaining. There were a couple songs that I definitely enjoyed off it. So I say that as a win for a group that's really getting kind of older and, obviously moving farther and farther away from where they once were. So yeah, the first song, which I believe is called Love from the Other Side, that one was good. And then I also saved a song called Heaven, Iowa. That one was pretty good. And then there was also, one last thing I want to talk about as far as returning to their old form, So there's this track called Baby Annihilation, which is just a spoken word interlude, which is kind of a thing that they used to do, probably at least once an album, I would say. And I guess I'm just reading off of Genius. It says, The first spoken word Pete Wentz feature on a Fall Out Boy album since $20 Nosebleed, which was, I think, like 2007. Baby Annihilation marks a return to form for Fall Out Boy, and I kind of agreed with that. A lot of this album, including that, kind of seemed like a bit of a return to form, so I guess good for them. It's not going to be one that I like listen to often at all, but I did save those two songs, so yeah.
I think it's a good sign because at least if they're return to form, because I know Paramore has been touring a lot and they've been kind of like, and Blink is back, and it's kind of this like the old, like, you know, the late millennials like are, you know, kind of going back to their roots in this, you know, pop punk era, and not just like, it's not like Rolling Stones where they keep touring until they die. It's like these bands are actually making good music again.
Right.
I don't know about
resurgence.
I don't know about Blink, but you know, Fall Out Boy, Paramore, they're kind of doing that, and you know, it's just kind of, it's really cool because I think that these bands are realizing, I think even with independent, you know, record production and independent labels, or like these bigger bands that blew up or were forced to blow up in like the mid 2000s are kind of coming back and doing more independent stuff or going back to the roots because it's, you know, it's their life. Like that's what they love to do, or like, you know, something like that.
Yeah. And I'm excited to see, you know, what comes for Blink and Paramore, especially Blink with Tom back in the band. I think it should be interesting. I think they could maybe see a similar return to form. I feel like I would be more receptive than not that Matt Skiba did a bad job. I mean, we've talked about this on the pod before.
Skiba
I think
saved
like
that band.
Yeah, right. Like they were, like it literally he saved them because they were gonna probably be done if it wasn't for him to come in and make like actually a pretty great record in California. I think that one actually held up well. So it's kind of cool to see this genre that we love, that we kind of grew up on, have a bit of a resurgence, because we talked about it with Remote Drive, who has we talked about their album Greatest Hits on here before.
Yeah,
like it's kind of a genre that's not really, you know, not really prevalent. So to see one of the juggernauts of the genre come back and make a solid record is good to see. But yeah, that's about all I have to say for that one. Nothing too exciting.
Yeah. Well, I guess like I think you just summed it up. It's like kind of like a return to form. Like what they're doing is maybe not exactly what they could probably never capture that momentum that they had.
Yeah, I mean they'll never go back to their old sound.
No, but those guys could still rock still, man. And they've stayed together as a band and stayed out of drama for the most part. And unlike other guys like you know, Brendan Urie or that kind of thing, you know, like getting hate. Right. But I mean, that's good for them. It's good for them.
Totally.
I'll eventually get to it. But yeah, do you want me to jump into the Lana Del Ray record?
Yeah. I kind of like power ranked the albums I wanted to hear the most, and she kind of slid towards the bottom. So
hey, that's okay.
I still would want to check it out.
I only listened to this because of my girlfriend. So
I figured, because I didn't peg you as like a Lana fan.
Not at all. I don't like Lana Del Rey. I mean,
yeah,
but I think I don't like the music. But anyway, so this album, for you guys that don't know, is called Did You Know That There's a Tunnel Under Ocean Boulevard? It's her her previous album was, I think, Blue Banisters. Yeah, Blue Banisters came out 2021. So it's, you know, kind of a 2-year break for Lana making this album, and it's a stereotypical Lana Del Rey album. Like I mean I can't stress that enough. It's like I think an issue that I have with like Lana Del Rey, and I'll get into this with boygenius, and like this kind of melancholic like folk stuff, or like the, you know, she's more pop, but just like she's so limited by the character and the sound that she's created.
I agree.
Her covers are amazing. Like she's done some amazing covers in her own style, but then like this album, you could take a song off this album and say it's off of Chemtrails Over the Country Club or Norman fucking Rockwell. You could take that and take a song and be like, that's what this is, you know. This album, it's good. Like I think Lana Del Rey, the thing with her is that I don't think she can make like a bad song. But yet again, her style and the way she sings and her production limits her, I think, because she's a cool, unique voice, kind of like Phoebe, kind of like the lady from Big Thief, like even Connor Oberst, like they all kind of these unique voices, but I think with Lana, it kind of like suffocates her style.
She's definitely one-dimensional,
but it works for her, and she's all these fans and
she's huge fan base. I was just gonna say that.
And it's dedicated fans, like people that will take this chick to their grave. And I understand that. Like it's really good music if that's what you're looking for, but I really think that like Norman fucking Rockwell is a better album, or even Chemtrails Over the Country Club. Maybe this album will grow, and I think it'll pop because it's the new Lana Del Ray. I think a lot of songs will be big off of this album because her fandom just keeps growing and growing and becoming more mainstream.
Yeah, I think I'm looking up right now like the first week sales just because I'm interested, because this has already been out now for a little bit. But yeah, she's very hit or miss for me. I really just want to listen to it to find those few sones that I'm really gonna like. Yeah, it sold 115,000
so
first week, and then 87,000 this past week, it looks like. So it's having a huge first 2 weeks.
I really love the song. I don't like, okay, I'm gonna say, like, I'm not a Lana fan, but I did really like the song with Father John Misty, Let the Light In, because he really contrasts her singing, because he's more of a standard folk singer.
Right. Now, are you a Father John Misty fan?
I love Father John Misty.
Okay.
And my girlfriend thinks I just hate women singers, and that's just not true. But
that's funny.
I think she just doesn't understand that I don't like music that makes me more sad than I already am. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah. I mean,
right.
Who would want that?
Right. And sad music makes me sad. So it's a direct translation. So I don't listen to very sad music all the time. But anyway, but I love this Let the Light In because it's probably the most different song on, because they just contrast each other, and she's not so like Lana Del Ray can kind of sing like
kind of whiny.
Yeah, like almost like she's just like rolling around in her chair, like
Yeah, I definitely.
She really holds notes really well with contrasting Father John Misty, and I'm sure he actually plays guitar on that song. And it's honestly one of the less streamed songs, probably one of the lesser poppy songs that people would know. Other than that, I really liked A&W. Now, I don't like the lyricism of Lana Del Ray. I don't fucking get it. It's really elusive, and not in a Phoebe Bridgers way, in a like I just did 5 lines of coke and then I'm like
very obscure
and then write, so it's like that, like almost like like she just was like writing on a bender, which
it's almost like about nothing. Obviously people will claim that there's obscure meanings and but I don't.
That's our job. That's our job here, to find meanings in the shit. And it's like,
yeah, I know, but
when it's coming from us who like break down music, it's like, oh brother, like, but honestly, people love it, and she can say some really cool shit, but it just doesn't make sense to me because I'm not in the fandom, which is okay. Still a great album. I recommend this. It's, if you like Lana Del Rey, this shit bangs.
I definitely want to listen to it. Just wasn't my highest priority.
You might love it. You might love it.
Yeah, I think I might. I mean, I wouldn't say I love NFR, but like I definitely like a lot of songs off it. And I mean, I listen to it occasionally.
And the cover is kind of this return to like less pop art, kind of, classic Lana Del Rey cover.
Right, more basic.
So, like the Lust for Life kind of look, which I think that's her best look, with the, kind of that like prairie look, or that, like that mid-century like kind of like cover design, like that really suits her aesthetic really well, instead of the kind of pop art shit that she's trying to do. So
I wish Pusha T would have used that picture of her for his album cover. I don't know if he was allowed to or what, but do you know what I'm talking about or no?
No, what Pusha T album?
When Pusha T, the most recent one, the name is escaping me for some reason.
Yeah. It's Almost Dry.
It's yeah. When Pusha T first announced, no, she's not in it. But when Pusha T first announced It's Almost Dry, he announced it with a photo of Lana Del Ray with like a pile of Coke on her face, like literally a photo of Lana Del Rey, and then like there was Coke on the photo, and then a picture of that was the promotional material for It's Almost Dry, and people thought it was gonna be the cover, but I don't think he would have the rights for that. It was the cover of one of her albums. I know she has like 1 billion albums, and they all have her face on it.
Oh, it's her. It's that first. It's fucking.
It's one of her older albums. Yeah.
Yeah. The 2017 album.
Yeah. It's Lust for. It's a Lust for Life CD with like a pile of cocaine on it.
Oh, I see it. That's
was
awesome.
The promo material for It's Almost Dry.
That's awesome. Dude.
It is awesome.
I wish that's what the cover was.
Yeah, I'm sure there would have been legal troubles with that, but It's Almost Dry is a great record, but we're gonna get off track if we go down that road.
Oh man, Pusha's just a go.
Yeah,
I'm sure he didn't want to like offend or something.
No, I know. Yeah, he got it.
Which is weird from Pusha T, but that we're saying that about him because he's one of the best. Like I guess what he did, rap dissers, like sneak dissers.
Yeah, right. He's sharp with the pen.
He is
for sure.
That what was that one? That Drake one where he ripped on him for having
Story of Adidon.
Yeah,
so many good bars in there.
Yeah, that shit. That's how we all found out about Drake's son,
right?
And he was like, no, and then a month later, he's like, yeah, I got a son.
Yep.
I don't know, brother.
I don't know how.
Anyway, so I guess I'll wrap up the Lana album by saying it's good. If you like Lana Del Ray, it's a good little intro to Lana Del Ray. It's got her kind of quirky music. It's got the party music. It's got the kind of dreary music. It's got the bad bitch music. It's got the folk fusion music that I might digest it a little better, like the Father John Misty. So I'd recommend that. I mean, start anywhere on the album. You're gonna kind of get a feel for it. So yeah.
Cool. Yeah, thanks for that.
A Tunnel Under Ocean Boulevard.
So A Tunnel Under Ocean Boulevard. Yeah, so I guess moving forward. Hey, I think I just made a pun because I was gonna say we could go in chronological order and say next we could do Forward because that came out first.
Yeah, we can do Forward.
Yeah. Okay, so this will probably be a quick one, but
yeah, this is kind of added on midweek too.
Yeah, so March 3rd, 2023, which was a month ago at this point, over a month at this point. So it's not exactly the past couple of weeks, but still March. So we thought we would include it because this was something that we both really wanted to listen to, and it's Forward by Jordan Ward, who is like a really like upcoming kind of, I guess I would say, rising star. He's getting pretty popular.
He's like R&B rap too. Like
he makes a really unique style of like really smooth, like hip hop / R&B. Yeah.
Well, it's super fun, but it's super unique too. And like even we saw him at JID. Mm-hmm. He opened before Samino, and we were like, oh, this guy's pretty good. And your roommate loved him. He was like, oh, I know this song.
Yeah.
So, and then we were like, oh man, we got to listen to his album. And he kept plugging his album. We're like, oh, this shit's really good. Like he was just super fun. Like he was way more fun than Samino set. Like we were all jumping around.
Yeah, honestly. Yeah, I think Jordan did a amazing job of selling himself at the concert. Like I think when you're in that position, as an upcoming artist and you get a chance to go on tour, it's a co-headliner with two huge artists, like, obviously you got to see that as a business opportunity, and you're almost, when your performance is like selling yourself. That's how I see it. So and I think he did
it. Like he didn't just sell himself. He wasn't just saying buy my record. Mm-hmm. He had crowd participation. He was running around.
Yeah, he was going crazy.
He was rapping his shit. He didn't have a backtrack. He was actually doing his stuff. Mm-hmm. He was unique. He had a pink wig on with stickers on his face. Yep. Like, and he was crazy, and he was just super fun. Like I remember, like we were all kind of joking around, like dancing and shit, because like your roommate was like he's all in his feels and shit, like all like
Yeah. Because apparently my roommate was already a Jordan Ward fan, which is
cool. We didn't know it, and I was like dancing with him, and it was fun.
No, we were having a lot of fun, and like you said, by the end of it, he was so good, and we were getting into it so much, it's like you couldn't help but check out his music. So his most recent album that just dropped, like we said, is called Forward. Has a few really solid songs on it. It's a short little album, but it's pretty good. It's a super just groovy and cool, unique album. Like it definitely sounds pretty different than what stuff I typically listen to. So I don't really know, what out there sounds like.
I can kind of compare it to other stuff too. Like, I mean, I love this kind of music. So I would say it's like kind of Steve Lacy-ish, kind of like who's the guy that shot Meg Thee Stallion?
Tory Lanez.
It's very Tory Lanez, but like better, not so auto-tuned Tory Lanez. It has like kind of he has some songs he's like, it reminds me of like the production sometimes reminded me of like Brent Faiyaz even.
I was just gonna say Brent Faiyaz actually.
Mixed with the really R&B influence, but his is more electronic. Jordan Ward's more electronic, like a Steve Lacy,
right?
Like even I would say like has production similar to like Dominic Fike, like this kind of like pop R&B rock kind of like this, like, but it's very soulful too, kind of like very unique sound, and but it works so well. It's not this like mod podge of like, like I think Angelic Hoodrat last week that we talked about was a little too all over the place for me, but this was so consistent with like you could tell he was having fun, and
definitely you could feel that in the music.
Had great production. It wasn't like, oh, what's this random shit? It was like, oh, this is so fun. Like I would love this is. Like, I think my favorite song was Fam Jam 4000.
Yeah,
which he played too, and I Don't Care.
Yeah.
Which he played both of those at the concert, I think. And that shit was
he did.
Fun. And I was like jamming. If the Fam Jam got me jamming in the car. Like
totally.
I was like fist bumping. I was like, oh yeah, this shit good. And it's just fun music. And I was like, oh man, this guy's really good.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. So you pretty much hit all the points, like, in terms of like sonically what he's doing with the album. And yeah, I agree that he had a great set. Also, in hindsight, the songs that he performed were the best songs on the album for sure. Yeah.
Great
my three favorites were IDC, I Don't Care, Fam Jam 4000, and White Crocs, which he also performed.
Yeah, I love White Crocs as well. But
yeah,
so songs like the songs that aren't as popular, like I love Dance Machine. I loved Flights, even like the kind of like intro-y kind of sounding songs, and Forward, the title track was really good too. And those songs aren't played as much. And I just enjoyed this whole album. I don't think
I honestly want to get into his music more because he kind of like scratches an itch that like you, I guess we mentioned the artist that he sounds kind of similar to, but at least for me, like for like my average like listening, like he just made me want to like get up and dance, I guess. And it's kind of a feeling that I don't get from a lot of artists.
When he was so fun and positive, like
he was.
The best part was like
he was for sure.
I think because we know what his live set was like he was just such like a positive guy. Like he was just like, it was like he wanted to be there. It was like
totally.
And he was talking to everybody, talking to the crowd. He's so vocal with the crowd. And then at the end, he was like, "Listen, guys, like." This is my shit. Like it just came out. Please support me. These are all the music, like whatever. And I was like, oh yeah, fuck yeah, I'll support you. This stuff was awesome.
For sure.
Like for sure, yeah. Up.
So yeah, so shout out Jordan Ward for sure. I think we've both had the experience of like seeing an opener for a huge artist that it's like totally not into it and the crowd's not into it. And it's just kind of like annoying. But Jordan Ward was the polar opposite. Like the whole crowd was like getting into it. And no one really knew him, I don't think.
He stole the momentum from Smino. I really think so.
Yeah, at least for our group of I think like 6 or 7 people, like we're not the biggest Smino fans, and like
I love
Jordan Ward got us going crazy early.
Yeah, I was the biggest Smino fan, and I thought Smino his set was like, what stole. This is kind of a like segue. Is that who stole Smino's set was that chick that his backup singer that he had. She was an amazing singer.
She was.
Kind of stole that set.
Yeah, I was impressed by her, obviously, and also the dude playing the guitar. He was shredding.
Yeah, he shredded, so it's kind of funny that like it wasn't that Smino had a bad set. It just was like it wasn't him that I liked about the set.
Yeah, that's an interesting.
And he didn't play my favorite song, so I was kind of pissed. But
yeah, he played. I think it's called Curtains, which is my favorite off the record. I think between Curtains and Old Ass Kendrick, those are my favorite songs on the album. But I really like Curtains, and I'm glad you played that. Other than that, we weren't really there.
Played Amphetamine. I would have cried if he played.
Yeah, I know. I think he might have also played Defibrillator. That's a song I like off that album too. Yeah, yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. Those are pretty much the only ones I still listen to off that album. It wasn't my favorite, but anyways.
Anyway, that's kind of it for Jordan Ward.
Yeah, I definitely recommend. I think support Jordan Ward because he's a super cool dude.
Yeah, he was he hung out at the booth, the clothing booth after his set. So he was meeting people, hanging out, signing autographs for free. So it was really cool. Like that.
Yeah, and I've been seeing him on Twitter lately also, just tweeting about the tour, like winding down and stuff like that. And he just, seems genuine.
I'll see him. Like if he ever tours in Detroit, I'll totally see him.
Yeah, he is doing a tour for this album, but there's no Detroit. I think there's barely any Midwest at all.
Oh,
it's like a 6. Yeah, it's like a 6 or 7 stop.
Yeah, he's super small, so I wouldn't assume he would come to the Midwest a lot. So
yeah, one day though. Yeah, hopefully. I think he could have potential to blow up like on the Steve Lacy kind of trajectory.
Brent Faiyaz, like there's kind of that market for that R&B, like
totally, and like super like
fun.
I know it's kind of like taboo, but he definitely has like some songs that would go crazy on TikTok.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
I know, obviously, like, artists probably aren't, like, making music with that in mind, but I feel like almost in the back of your mind, you got to think, like, oh, this could be one on TikTok. I know some do. Yeah, I don't want to accuse Jordan Ward of doing that, but, like, some of these songs could definitely go crazy in some viral challenges. So
yeah. Get some twerking challenge.
Perhaps, yeah.
Maybe. I didn't say that.
That's okay. Well, cut that out. Anyways, yeah, so that's that. If we go based off of date, the next one would be Scaring the Hose. Do you wanna head that way?
Yeah, we can go Scaring the Hose.
So we can Scare the Hose. We love Scaring the Hose.
Oh, I love Scaring the Hose. Okay,
I'm a professional Scaring the Hose. I can't believe the record's actually called that. Can we just start there? I can't believe they really named it that. I opened my notes a couple days ago when I listened to this album and I typed out Scaring the Hose, colon, and I was like, I was in just disbelief that they really, it almost seems fake, but anyways.
So Scaring the Hose, for those that don't know, came out 2 weeks ago or, a week and a half ago. And it is the first collab album by JPEG Mafia and Danny Brown. For those that don't know who JPEG Mafia is, he's known for his self-production. It's kind of this distorted, like almost Death Grips, like really like industrial sounding production with his like really intense rapping and complex bars and breakdowns, kind of almost like this punk rocky kind of sounding of production without the guitar, basically punk rock without guitar in drums instead, basically. And Danny Brown was known, he kind of faded away from that industrial sounding, like Danny Brown from Detroit. Shout out to Detroit. Brown. Danny Brown was like I think what's his most popular album name?
Atrocity Exhibition.
Yeah, Atrocity Exhibitions was like one of my favorite albums in high school because it's this distorted, like he has a crazy voice, like very like screechy, like production, and I loved it. And then his newest album that came out before Scaring the Hose was very like actually him rapping, and it was still great. He's a great rapper. It's just like I miss the Danny Brown, and he was even like he has a podcast. And he was like talking. He's like, I don't know if I can do the pitch shit. I'm getting old. Like, I don't want to, I don't want to yell out the ad libs and yell, and then like all that kind of stuff. And then I heard Lean Beef Patty,
the first single.
I'm like, I got goosebumps because it's old Danny Brown screeching a chat, and I was like, motherfucker, this is what Danny Brown needed to come back into the game. The hype music game was Scaring the Hose at JPEG Mafia. So I'm probably more of a nerd about this shit than you. But I mean, you got anything else to say about it before?
Yeah. I think what you said, you kind of hit the nail on the head. I think I'm not like a big Danny Brown fan, but I definitely like him. I think he's interesting. I like Atrocity Exhibition. I think that JPEG Mafia teaming up with Danny Brown is probably the push that Danny needed to get back kind of into that realm. And I'm glad he got it. I think Peggy is a really great producer, and I think he did make perfect beats for Danny Brown. I think I like JPEG Mafia more as a producer than a rapper. I think his beats are like incredible,
really unique. So unique. Like
yeah, exactly. So like I would love to see, not that I don't, not I mean I like this album for what it is. Not that I wouldn't want to see them collab again. I would like to see just a Danny Brown album produced by JPEG Mafia and see where
That's
that
what
goes.
this is. I mean, this would basically this is like.
Yeah, right, for
you
sure.
have more
yeah,
Danny Brown, overwhelmingly amounts of you have overwhelming amounts of Danny Brown rapping instead of JPEG Mafia. Like overwhelming. Like I mean, like Danny Brown's the rapper in this case, and JPEG Mafia is more the
right.
kind of
yeah.
like the Alchemist. Or
I feel like they were pretty even, but Danny Brown's verses stood out to me more. I think he had the better verse on most songs.
Yeah, I mean, but like I would say for most of the better songs, like the stronger songs, it was Danny Brown heavy. Like he had the longer verses.
Well, I mean the songs that I like that I saved off this album are the ones where Danny Brown has a tremendous verse. I think that's the difference on this.
And
album
I love all of the title references. Like I love like Lean Beef Patty. Was
the track list on this album is insane. Like the actual titles.
Yeah. So Lean Beef Patty is she's like a fitness chick on TikTok, and she's like the muscle mommy, like whatever fandom. Mm-hmm. And it was such a it's scaring the hoes. Like it's like stereotypical like Lean Beef Patty. If you like Lean Beef Patty, you're probably scaring the hoes away. And Step a Pig, and then I love Fentanyl Tester, Perfect, which is I'm guessing
Montez Perfect,
the guy who fucking hurts people.
Yeah.
And then Kingdom Hearts Key, and then Run the Jewels.
And then the best track name that I've heard in a long time, Jack Harlow Combo Meal.
Yeah, that's a good one. And then
I don't know why, something about
Heaven on Earth, and where you get your coke from.
something about Jack Harlow Combo Meal, just
it's so good.
The song itself is fine.
It's for goofy ass dudes that like weird rap. Like that's just that. It's directed at guys like us, Rosario. Like people.
Yeah, I definitely think there's like a very clear target audience, and JPEG Mafia tweeted today some really stupid ass like. He tweeted literally today. He's like, terminally online people hate me because I'm more terminally online than them. And I was just like thinking to myself, like, terminally online people love you. Like that's your fan base.
Yeah, that's like all the nerds that are all online. So.
Like you have to be terminally online to find JPEG Mafia. I mean, how else are you gonna find him? It's not like they're playing him on the radio. You know what I mean?
Oh no way! Remember the first time I played JPEG Mafia for Will. Were you there for that?
Yeah, I think I might have been.
Yeah, our friend Will, we exposed him to Steve Lacy and JPEG Mafia. And I think it changed his like whole mind. Like I think
it's kind of like both sides of it's like a
And he liked both of it. He was just like digging both of it. And
that's cool.
He's like, I don't know, man. He's like, I just listen to whatever.
Yeah. But anyways, this album is pretty awesome. I mean,
it's just fun. Like again, it's kind of like you can turn your brain off, kind of hear a couple bars that are like, what the fuck is he saying?
I was sitting in the library, in the dead silent library, listening to this, and I was like, I feel like I was gonna like bounce off the walls. I feel like I was going I literally feel like I was in like a asylum listening to this. It's a lot. If you haven't heard JPEG Mafia before, it's a lot. There's like overlapping.
It's like schizophrenia every song.
Yeah, it is. There's sounds coming from everywhere and static and just bass boosted, just like madness. But like you find like sometimes you find like the track and the madness and your eyes get opened up and you're like, whoa.
He has some magic in that shit. That's like, how are you?
Yeah, he does.
Like it's like at first listen, it's like this is just some dude with schizophrenia making music, but then it's like, no, this is all intentional. It's so good. Like,
and then on top of that, you have Danny Brown's lyricism,
which is something like a crackhead yelling at.
Yeah, his voice and his lyricism combination is just pure chaos. I mean, this is the two most chaotic people in this kind of genre coming together. It's kind of beautiful.
But what I love about Danny Brown is that, like, especially with like his most popular album, you can like in on this too is like you at first you're not gonna understand what the fuck he's saying, but then like after you listen to it more and more and you're hooked, you understand what he's saying more, and you're like, why is this actually good bars? Like why? Because he writes shit to be weird and clever at the same time. So it's like, what? Like he's just having fun with it. Like he's just like doing whatever the hell he wants.
Yeah. My favorite, I mean, I haven't probably caught them all yet, but my favorite Danny Brown lyric on the album so far, it's a simple one. It's on Shut Your Bitch Ass Up / Muddy Waters on the first half.
Yeah.
The intro goes, shut the fuck up. And then he goes, I don't wrap circles round fellas, I do figure eights. And something about that, I like had to run it back when I first heard it. I'm like, did he just say I don't wrap circles, I do figure eights? And he did, which is just funny to me. And then he said rent free in fellas' heads, I should do real estate. I
think it's like, I don't know. There's just some great lines. Like, even when like lean beef patty, it's like, the song opens with like, oh yeah, this is what I need. First off, fuck Elon.
Yeah, fuck off Elon. The first words on this entire album are fuck Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Just tells you everything you need to know.
Fuck Elon Musk. If I tweet,
yeah, and then he goes, $8 is too much. Bitch, that's expensive.
Yeah.
Referring to the Twitter verification, the Twitter Blue subscription.
Yeah, it's just so good. Like
it's just chaotic energy, and there's nothing wrong with chaotic energy.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just like fun. Like it just, and this thing was made probably so fast to this album that it's just like you can tell it was just like fun, you know?
Yeah, they're just goofing off for sure. And I think
on Perfect,
I love Perfect.
I'm real right. Good stand on it. Raw how I fuck plan B on it. It's a wonder I ain't got a lot of kids because I just pull out and spray on it.
Yeah. And all that is like screeched as well is the funny part.
Oh, you would never know, but it's just like,
yeah, I like it's hard like Sudoku, Netflix and chill on a jailbroken Roku.
Yeah, it's so good. I'm playing zombies, choppers like NATO.
It's good stuff, dude.
That's so good.
Anyways, yeah, I since we're on the topic of Perfect, I think Perfect is one of my favorite songs.
It's true. I look like Olivia Munn. So good.
Yeah, it is good. I love Perfect. I love Garbage Pail Kids, Perfect, Shut Your Bitch Ass Up, Muddy Waters, Where You Get Your Coke At. Yeah, a lot of great tracks. I like Garbage Pail Kids. I can't decide between Garbage Pail Kids and Perfect was my favorite song. So Garbage Pail Kids, you have the insane Danny flow in the first half. And then the back half, you have that really distorted guitar that plays over the sample and the drums, and that sounds really good. And then in Perfect, you have like, I think it's like, I don't know what instrument, it's like some horns or trumpet of some sort that makes the song sound like super like grand and like cinematic. And then obviously more great, another great Danny verse we were just reading lyrics off of. So yeah, those two are pretty awesome.
It's just like I'm reading more lines in this album. Like
it's just unhinged.
It's just so good.
Yeah.
Shop bitch. I think I'm Korean.
They should have had a Babytron feature.
Oh,
imagine Babytron on that production, bro.
Babytron on JPEG Mafia. That shit would be like cancerous.
Yeah, it'd be dangerous. Yeah. To say the least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn. That album was just fun. I love it. I would recommend the whole thing. Just give it a listen if you like.
Yeah, it's definitely like
it's definitely taste, but
I was gonna say it's an acquired taste and it's a specific target audience, but like anyone listening to this podcast is probably like tapped into that anyways, I would assume. I mean,
yeah, 100%.
Oh, yeah, so yeah, give it a try.
Damn.
Yeah. Okay. So that, I guess,
that's that.
Yeah. So that brings us to last Friday, the most recent drops. So there were 3 of them. boygenius dropped their album called The Record, their debut album. Larry June and the Alchemist dropped The Great Escape. And Tyler dropped his deluxe album to Call Me If You Get Lost, the estate sale. So yeah, I guess I think we're gonna.
You want to start with boygenius?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Right. What do you think?
I didn't like as much as I wanted to. I think, but
I agree.
Why
does every song sound the same? Why?
Like, yeah, I was kind of
the same.
Yeah. So boygenius is a super group, I guess. Phoebe Bridgers, Julian Baker, and Lucy Dacus, I believe is her name. And Yeah, I mean it wasn't as good as, I mean, I love Phoebe Bridgers. I'm not quite really tapped in with the other two ladies, but I love Phoebe Bridgers. And this album I'd say wasn't really as good as her solo work, but it had its moments. I mean, it wasn't like a necessarily bad album,
Mm-hmm.
but every song did kind of sound the same except for a couple.
Yeah.
And the ones that sounded different are kind of the ones that I was drawn to.
I'm trying to remember what's the one that has more of the oh fuck, I'm trying to remember the one that has like the electric guitar.
Yeah, I think that those were the ones that I like too. I think it could be $20 or Satanist.
I think Satanist.
Mm-hmm.
Satanist. I loved that it sounded different. Like Satanist had the electric guitar and had a great like, but it just did the same thing for the whole 5 minutes.
I agree with that. It could be,
it was like,
you could say it's too long for sure.
Different. Do like have a different break, have like a solo in there, have something different, you know, just did the same thing. Like I was just so I was expecting this like kind of build up, and it just built up to nothing. It was the same repeated guitar for 5 minutes.
And another thing too is this could definitely be just me. I mean, I might get corrected on this. I think there were a couple songs where not all three of them had a contribution. I could be wrong on that, but like there was definitely like some songs where it was very like obvious that they were all three like harmonizing or, you know, singing the same part or different verses. But then there were some songs where I felt like I didn't hear one of the members on it. And those songs were kind of lame because, I mean, I guess the reason you're listening to this is for the harmonization and the teamwork of a so-called supergroup. So when they don't all contribute, it's kind of lame.
There was a bunch of songs like that where it was just Phoebe singing or just Julian or just
right.
Like it was just, you know, it was like
yeah. And those were the songs also that were primarily the slower, like more like indie folk style. But a lot of the songs had like, or not a lot, sorry, a couple of the songs I should say had the more drums and more, you know, electric guitar, a little more of like a pop rock feeling, and you know those ones were really good. So those ones I'd say were $20 definitely, and Satanist. And another one I liked was the last track, Letter to an Old Poet. I thought that song was good, but those were the only three that really that I really were of note to me.
Yeah,
which I guess it's a little disappointing.
When I had my first listen, I was with my girlfriend, and we were listening to it, and she was showing it to me. And I was like listening, and I was like, okay, this is good, but why does it's not really like their EP was so good. Like
I was gonna bring up that I prefer the EP.
Yeah, like their EP was so different, and it had different styles, and they were stepping outside of their own boxes because they have more star power. But then this kind of just stepped backwards. It was just sounded like a Phoebe. Every song sounded like a Phoebe Bridgers song.
Yeah, it did.
You know, and it was just like, come on, like, does she have that?
Yeah, I'm wondering if they like got a little scared or spooked or what. But
well, and it's just like I'm kind of pissed because like they got on Rolling Stone as Nirvana. They took that iconic Nirvana cover and made it them. They're the super group of folk, you know, like this.
Yeah.
And I was like ready for this album to be something.
It was very hyped.
They was so hyped. It was so hyped, and their EP was really good, and I got into them. And then this album it bummed me out.
Yeah.
It just was lackluster.
Yeah, I mean, looking at their self-titled EP, you know, I would say this is not like the be-all, end-all of judging music, but just looking at numbers-wise, I have 4 out of those 6 songs in my library compared to 3 out of the 12 on the album. So,
yeah,
not a very good showing.
No song saved from the boygenius.
Yeah, I really liked the song $20, but I believe that was a single.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one, but for the most part, yeah.
I mean, expectations because of the media hype.
The media definitely.
EP, you know, because they were pushed hard, like online, right? And because Phoebe Bridgers is big right now, like,
of course,
it's a super group. It's her times 3, and it's like they gave them again. I think the thing that bothered me the most was like equating them to Nirvana.
Yeah, I didn't see that comparison, but it would have bothered me if I saw it.
That is a big.
It's a big ask.
I'm like, holy shit, this is gonna be awesome. This is gonna be kick ass. And this is what came out from that.
Yeah, I agree. And I think it had the potential. I think it's sad because we heard the EP, and we heard the few songs that are really great on this album. It had the potential.
Yeah. The songs
just too safe.
Single were good, but it was just like every other song that was on the album sounded like the singles.
Yeah, just a classic case of too safe, which happens for huge artists a lot.
I think another band that happened to recently was Backseat Lovers.
Oh, totally.
Like their singles were the strongest songs, and I was expecting it to be fucking kick ass and emotional, and it came out and it was just boring. Like it was just.
That's why it's tough, when a really good when there's a single you really like, it's like, okay, is the whole album going to be this good, or are they dropping the best song as a single?
And I think we had this conversation when JID dropped Forever Story, because Dance Now.
Yeah,
and Surround Sound were so good that we're like, is this going to be
right? I knew in my heart that it would get better than that, just in terms of like the more emotional songs that were going to be on the back end, which did end up coming.
Yeah,
but in terms of like the more upbeat songs, those definitely were some of the best. So it's like kind of a slippery slope, I guess, when you're promoting your album. Which, of course, you want to promote your album by dropping good songs, but you also want to like save something kind of for. Like to give people a reason to come back to. Like if boygenius would have never dropped this album and we would have just had those 3 singles, like I would have been the same for me whether I listened to the album or not, because those are probably some of the best songs. So
I think their EP is just so good too. Like I just knowing that their music could have been.
I want to re-listen to their EP. That the first track on the EP is called "Bite My Hand." That's one of Phoebe Bridgers' best performances, probably of her career, and she has a lot of music out when you take it all into account. So, I love that song, "Bite the Hand."
I don't know, that just their EP was really eye opening to me, in this album felt flat.
I'm interested in from like a big fan's perspective. So like, does your girlfriend feel the same way? A little disappointed, or is she really into it, or what?
I mean, I don't see her listening to it as much as like the Lana album. Like she loves the Lana album. She is listening.
A lot of people have, loved it.
But I don't see her listening to the boygenius as much. Like I think it's
okay.
And I think especially when she listened to it with me, because that was like, her first few listens were first, and then I listened to it with me, and I kind of brought up these points of like, why does every song sound the same, or is it just me? She kind of realized, oh, my like fandom is wearing off, and it's kind of not as good as I thought it was.
Yeah, I hope that doesn't leak into Phoebe Bridgers' solo music. No disrespect to the other members, but she's really the one that I guess I you know what, dude, I'm kind of happy we didn't end up with those concert tickets now.
Yeah,
because
I would have been bored.
If this album was like incredible, then like, I would have wanted to see that live, sure, but I feel no inclination to spend over $100 and drive to Columbus for this. So
no, dude, we can just go to Backseat Lovers, bro.
Yeah, right.
Those tickets are already bought, and we know they're gonna play some good song at least.
Yeah, sure, for sure. Cool. So
I guess that's it for that album. I guess it's kind of a bummer, but it's not a bit of a bummer. It's not. We got still. Fuck, I can't talk. We got 2 albums left that are really good.
So these 2 next were definitely not.
I had a lot of fun with both of these albums. I think the Tyler. Do you want to do the Tyler one last or the Alchemist one last?
Up to you. I don't have a ton to say for either, I should say, but
I guess I have a lot to say about the Tyler one.
Okay, sick. Yeah, let's do the Great Escape then, the Alchemist.
Okay.
Alchemist and Larry June, The Great Escape. Alchemist is a legend, and this album kind of rocked, obviously, because he can do no wrong. So you had features from I think Boldy James, Big Sean,
Slum Village.
Slum Village, Joey Badass. There's a lot of big features on here.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I think the finished product was pretty dang good. I mean, obviously Alchemist beats were incredible. I think the songs like 89 Earthquake and Orange Village, those two beats are amazing. And in terms of Larry June's rapping, it's like one of the most smoothest and most effortless flows I've ever heard. Like, and it's a perfect compliment also for the subject matter he raps about, because like pretty much every song is like flexing and just like lavish lifestyle rap, and like the smoothness that he delivers it is like really just like cool. Like he seems like just like a cool guy. And yeah, what did you think about it?
Yeah, I mean, I think Larry June like somehow Alk can like just morph into anybody's taste. Like Larry June is this like 2010s like West Coast, gangster, like the continuation of like I don't know where he's from. Actually, I'm gonna look that up.
California.
He might, yeah. So he's from like California.
Yeah.
So he's kind of like almost like Kendrick inspired, like like East,
West
like
Coast,
West
yeah.
Coast kind of like gangster shit, like
right, very like braggadocious and like relaxed
without the trap. It's kind of like high production, like the guys care about high production, that kind of stuff. So his rapping, perfect on all of these beats. Almost like you don't even recognize that it's another dude rapping on this shit. Like it sounds like a part of the music, which is great. That's kind of the thing. That's like the key of the Alchemist is like you can like make anybody sound like they're an instrument on the beat. You don't even notice that they're rapping half the time because it's so fucking good and ingrained in it. And all the features shined. Like I don't think I hated a feature on this album. Like Oldie song Art Talk was fucking awesome.
Of course.
The Barragan Lightning was fucking awesome too. The Joey Badass feature. The Slum Village was awesome.
I love that song.
It was like shouting out Detroit and stuff. And like,
yeah,
the thing is like it's crazy. And I was actually talking to my uncle about this because I was talking about Dilla and Slum Village and all that. But what I was talking to my uncle is like, you listen to a Dilla beat and you know it's a Dilla beat. And I just associate Slum Village with Jay Dilla so much that hearing them on like an Alchemist beat, which is routinely 1/4 or like whatever, like is more on beat, where like Dilla's beats were off like
on his own time,
on Dilla time. So it's just like Slum Village sounded great, but I'm like, I love how you can just tell that this is an Alchemist beat in Slum Village, and they're kind of shouting out Detroit, Dilla, Alchemist, all this kind of stuff, and they're just having fun. I loved it.
Totally.
Love the Big Sean song. Now I wasn't expecting to like that. That was really good.
I was just gonna say he had like a surprisingly great verse. Like I thought he delivered like above and beyond. I was totally surprised by his verse. So I guess shout out Detroit again, Big Sean.
Yeah, Big Sean.
And then you mentioned already Art Talk. Like wow, Boldy and Alchemist is just a match made in heaven. I mean, those guys are just perfect for each other.
And then the Action Bronson verse was so fun. I love Action Bronson.
He's always fun.
Alchemist bars on Alchemist Beast, because it's kind of like that Griselda-y, like, but it's kind of
but way less serious though.
Yeah, but Action Bronson's kind of like Griselda, but New York instead of Buffalo. Like I love it. They kind of have the same, like it's like West Side Gun is similar. Like Action Bronson's like white West Side Gun.
Pretty much. They are definitely the same like vibe.
It's so good. Anything else to say? Like I think that's pretty.
It's just an all-around, really well-rounded album. Obviously, the beats are incredible. The features delivered, and Larry June's rapping is like totally on point. I mean, the only like small criticism I would even have would be like Larry June's rapping is almost so smooth that he loses me at sometimes. Like it wasn't like the album didn't like blow me away, mostly just because like he didn't have any like crazy flows or any like insane wordplay. It was all just like consistently good. And I think the beats really kind of helped me maintain my way through the album.
Yeah.
But
and the features.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The features kind of stole the show.
Yeah. Like hands down stole this. Like
like I said, I don't have, a ton on this album just because it's hard to like just talk about the beats without hearing it. They're just amazing.
Okay, then I guess we can move on to the Tyler album. I would recommend any of those songs with the features on them. Like the Boldy song is great, and I would recommend
I would recommend Orange Village with Slum
Orange
Village.
So those three.
That beat is like otherworldly. That's one of my favorite Alk beats I've heard in a while.
Yes, sounds great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, so yeah, finally,
this is our last album of new music. It's the I guess deluxe edition of Call Me If You Get Lost, but it's added what 6 songs plus or 6 or 7, 8 songs.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 songs.
8
the estate sale.
Yeah. So
yeah,
one's an interlude, so like really 7 songs. And
okay, true, yeah.
So, what did you think of it?
I, as not a huge Tyler fan, really liked it. I thought it was a great addition to Call Me If You Get Lost, which is already an album that I really like. I'm glad that more Tyler, because also deluxe albums are not really a thing that Tyler has done before,
right?
So, he said on Twitter, he's never really felt this way before, but he felt that the songs that he had to cut off the album deserved to see the light of day. And I totally agree. After hearing them, I'm glad that these songs from this era got to see the light of day, because it's one of my favorite, Tyler eras, especially coming off of Igor, which I didn't like so much. I was happy to see him go this direction.
Yeah.
Some of these songs, like, obviously could have made the main album. Like, they're awesome. Stuntman with Vince Staples. I mean, I love Vince Staples.
That song is so good. That beat is so like goofy too, and
it's a perfect beat for Vince though. It's so unique.
Like that high pitch, like it's like North basically, but like
right. Yeah, and then
Dogtooth, the single was great.
Yep, Dogtooth was good. Wharf Talk with Rocky.
Boyfriend, Girlfriend, Sorry Not Sorry are just great. 3 great songs too, and that Wharf Talk basically. There's not a bad song, I don't think. Like,
yeah, I pretty much agree. I think it was a great, like, obviously, I think a lot of rappers, when they do deluxe, will kind of just like tack on whatever. This doesn't seem like just tacked on whatever. No. I don't think Tyler would ever do that. So
no, this had direct continuation of the album. Like I think Call Me If You Get Lost is becoming one of my more favorite Tyler albums for some reason, just because it has so much replayability and it's fun and you get diversity. And the concert was amazing. His like persona for Call Me If You Get Lost is awesome. Like that is like the eccentric billionaire, like who he's become. You kind of like, and his style is so iconic too for all these, all the white kids like us, who love Tyler. Or you don't, but
I mean, I don't love. Like, I know people who love Tyler. I like listening to his music, but
I used to be way into Tyler, like probably Scumfuck Flower Boy was like I was in. I was like buying golf and like all that kind of stuff. And
for sure,
Igor kind of lost me. I've come to love Igor for what it was, and then Call Me If You Get Lost kind of reeled me back in that this album is just so fun, and I wasn't expecting to. And Estate Sale just added on to that. It's just
that's a good way to describe it. It is fun, and I think that's also why enlisting the talents of Vince Staples and A$AP Rocky is such good decisions, because those are both good, fun rappers, and both like A$AP Rocky, obviously very frequent collaborator for Tyler. They
I didn't even realize that they both weren't on this album until I was like, oh, wow, A$AP Rocky and Vince Staples were cut from this album.
Right.
Like, it blows my mind because they were on Flower Boy, and, like, I'm like, that's so crazy. Like,
yeah, and they are both, like, perfect for the songs that they're on. I think they were both, like, carefully crafted. Those beats are perfect for each respective, like, Wharf Talk is perfect for Rocky and perfect for Tyler, and Stuntman is perfect for Vince and perfect for Tyler. So, two, like, instant love those songs. And then, like you mentioned, Dogtooth, which came out a couple weeks ago, like before the album, catchy, fun song. I mean, you pretty much said it with every song was pretty solid. Did you watch the music videos for any of these at all? Because he made music videos for, I think, like every single song, which I guess just shows how they're a continuation of the story. But well, the thing kind of going around is in Sorry Not Sorry music video, the last scene of the last music video for the album,
Mm.
you see like Tyler like murdering himself. Like you see like a different Tyler murdering the Call Me If You Get Lost Tyler, which people are saying kind of signifies the end of the Call Me If You Get Lost era.
Yeah.
And like the new Tyler persona, whatever he'll decide to do with his next album. So
yeah,
that's cool.
which
I
is
don't know when
he does
that
a
would be
persona
coming.
with every album, so it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I like that he kind of does that. Like,
Me
you know,
too.
before was a persona. This is a persona.
Right.
I think this is gonna be this next album is more gonna be emotional because he broke up with his long time girlfriend recently. So
Okay. Didn't
yeah,
know that, but I could definitely see.
it was very secret. So
Okay, I could definitely see a more than heartfelt album.
mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
This
is one of those ones kind of opposite to some other albums we've talked about before, where we don't have a ton to say because it's all just pretty good and every song very different as well. So I just recommend checking it out. It's super quick.
Just listen to it. It's 6 songs, 7 songs. It's so fun. It's Tyler. Great. I recommend it 100%.
Right. I completely agree. I think it was needed. No, I mean not that Call Me If You Get Lost was, you know, subpar, but yeah, not at all. But I think
it's added to the fun.
Right. Now with the context of these included on, it's like, you know. Yeah. And still shorter than Lana Del Ray's album with the deluxe songs.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways,
dude. All right. Do you want to do the normal format next week? Yeah.
I think we can return to the normal format. I think I'm gonna like take a shot in the dark this week because I didn't really plan on what to give you. So I'm gonna just say an album that I've been listening to a little bit here and there. Have you heard Heaven or Las Vegas? It's considered a classic. So by the Cocteau Twins.
Nope.
Okay, cool. So that's one that's just like I said, considered a classic. One that I find interesting and I've been listening to. So I guess we'll hear your thoughts on it. So yeah, Heaven or Las Vegas. It's a dream pop album from the I think 90s.
Yeah. You know what? Let's do this album called Witness by Benjamin Booker.
All right.
It's like a punk blues fusion.
Okay, sweet. I think I've heard of this guy, Benjamin Booker.
So have you listened to that album?
I'm gonna look. I definitely haven't heard it, but
okay. It's a great.
You know what? I think I've seen the cover before.
Yeah, it's a short album. It's kind of fun. It's got some deep stuff. It's got some deep cuts. It's, you know, there's some songs that are fun, that are slow burners, that are the poppier ones. There's a lot of slow, a lot of, you know, some fast. It's pretty cool. Cool. Yeah. He's on my wall, for fuck's sake. He's behind my guitar.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's this poster right there. So
sweet.
Huge fan.
Yeah, I'm excited.
All right. Cool. You listen to anything else?
Yeah, I was just gonna say I feel like I spent most of my time this week listening to like these like new albums, but I've been listening to a Radiohead a decent amount lately. So
I love what's the album with Body Snatchers on it? It's with all the In Rainbows.
In Rainbows. I love
Rainbows. It's one of my favorite Radiohead album as I get older for some reason.
Yeah, I think, you know, in terms of like the Radiohead discourse, obviously everyone wants to jump straight to OK Computer. I think In Rainbows has the higher. I tweeted this. I said OK Computer might be better, but In Rainbows has the higher high points.
Yes,
for me.
Like, I just love the variety In Rainbows.
Yeah, totally. I think not that OK Computer is repetitive, but like there's a lot of cool stuff on In Rainbows that you don't get on OK Computer.
I feel like Radiohead is really nihilistic. Like a lot of their music is like very like, and like it makes you feel like it's like you're listening to the end of the world. Like it's very like the world's right, everything. But In Rainbows is more like you're like on Molly while the world's ending.
Yeah, I think In Rainbows compared to OK Computer seems a little more personal to me. Like it seems a little more focused than OK Computer. I mean, I love them both, but in terms of like my favorite Like my all-time favorite Radiohead song is All I Need off of In Rainbows. And then like another one I really like is Videotape, 15 Step. Like all my favorite songs I think come off of In Rainbows. But in terms of like having the best deep cuts and like most consistent, I think like you can't
OK Computer.
Right. You can't really beat OK Computer. So
man, what's the I can't think of the other album.
Kid A.
No.
The Bends. Yeah.
Bends is like that. It's an iconic album too.
Yeah. Bends I actually haven't heard yet, so I should probably listen to it.
No, it's iconic, dude.
I should listen to it.
I mean, Radiohead is like it's Radiohead, you know.
Yeah, no, I mean they're awesome. Obviously.
I've been listening to Brent Faiyaz a lot, like little R&B shit, you know, like
okay, cool.
Some Fuck the World, Sanderson, I can't think of the other album. Wasteland just came out, but I was listening to that a while ago, so I kind of been listening to his older stuff. Huge Brent Faiyaz fan. Right, I've been a Brent Faiyaz fan for a while, probably pre-COVID, like
I remember
2020 kind of. That's like cool.
But
yeah, like Sanderson is great. It's a kind of a deep cut album, but I'll eventually have to give that to you. Some good like In Your Feels music.
Yeah.
What else? I've been really getting into some Led Zeppelin, like deep cut Led Zeppelin. Black Keys, kind of on my Black Keys kick now that spring's coming around.
Okay.
Dude, it just kicks ass when you're driving with the windows down, and
I can attest.
And she's kind of sick of it, and she's like, "You're listening to Black Keys again?" I'm like, "Brother, it doesn't stop. I'm a lifelong fan."
Yeah, no, definitely. No, that's one thing I learned early from doing the podcast. I think I've already listened to like 3 or 4 of their albums just for this.
I don't know why. It just sounds good to my brain.
Dude, that's no shame.
Yeah, no shame, dude. I don't know. That's not shame. That's fandom, bro.
Of course.
Again, still listening to Cream. I'm really in a Cream kick right now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm also obviously like always listening to my same
Jack Johnson. I've been loving some Jack Johnson.
Nice.
I was listening to it at work on Sunday, and I was singing to it, and my uncle was like, "What are you saying?" I'm like, "No, man, I'm singing." And he's like, "Oh,
yeah." Good. You can't knock the Jack Johnson.
Little JJ, you know, little Jack.
Dude, he's awesome.
I love that guy. He's so peaceful, and he loves his wife so much.
He does love his wife. I respect that.
He loves his wife a lot.
He does.
So I want that.
Yeah, I was just looking at my Apple Music replay, which I know it's like way early for that, but like I was just looking at like my first I guess like quarter of the year.
Yeah, it's already April. So.
Yeah, so I was just looking at like what I've been listening to. Nothing out of the ordinary. It's my top artists are JID, Clairo, West Side Gun, I think. And my top albums are, I think, like The Forever Story, Sling, and I think one of my top 5 albums was Slum Village, The Fantastic Volume 2.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, that's pretty cool.
Spotify is like the on repeat playlist, which is like music that you're like playing.
Yeah, that you've been like listening to lately.
My top song is Baby Doll by Dominic Fike, so I'm really listening to that song. And Traffic in the Sky by Jack Johnson, and then Lie by Earl Sweatshirt. So it's kind of like a variety. Nice. And I got Radar on here.
There you go.
Dance Now.
So we've both been feeling the Forever Story then, clearly.
Yeah, Dogtooth. Outside Women Blues by Cream is on here. Oh, the album Racoma by Racoma. I've said this probably 3-4 weeks in a row.
I think you have. Yeah.
This shit, that album, it's always on. Like I love this album so much. It's becoming a one of my favorite albums. So
my top songs, since you just mentioned it, my top songs. This is of the year so far. Number 1 is My Good Ghost by Mavi. Incredible song. Guillotine by Pure Born, which is just like one of my feel good happy songs. Like never skip it.
Yeah.
3 is Bubblegum, Clairo. And then I went through like a week where I was like obsessed with that song, which was, you know, now it's like a quarter of the year and it's still my 3rd song. So you could see like how much I listened to it. But and 4th is Sophia. which is kind of the opposite. That's one that I'll always listen to.
Yeah.
And then the 5th is Naomi by Neutral Milk Hotel, which
great
is
song.
Yeah, that's kind of an underrated one in terms of Neutral Milk Hotel.
What I've been listening to from Neutral Milk Hotel 2 is Baby for Pre.
I love that song.
I think ever since the Ferris Wheel on Fire,
yeah,
I've fallen in love with that song because of that alternate recording of
Baby. I was gonna say I don't remember if we talked about it, but the recording on Ferris Wheel on Fire is like so much better than whatever its equivalent is on.
Yeah, but both are I've just fallen in love with the original too, and then also the re-recording. But
I love just like it. I love like just how it like as soon as the song starts, the singing starts. It's a minor detail, but it like just works really, really well. How as soon as that first guitar strum hits, it's blistering pre, all smiling and swollen, makes babies for pre, and it's like nonstop. Like it's like very like There's no there's no long breaks. It's like very like constantly hitting, so it makes it like fun to sing along to, and just really catchy. That whole EP is really catchy.
But I agree, dude. If Clairo just comes by herself to Detroit, we're going 100.
I think at this point I have to.
You have to. Like if you see the tickets before me, just buy me one. Like I'll pay.
Okay. All right. Sure. I speaking of like things that we've been listening to, I was on Instagram and I saw this like Instagram reel, which is it's obviously just a screen recording of a TikTok. And it was Clairo covering Both Sides Now by Joni Mitchell. I don't know if you know that song, but song. It's a beautiful song. And Clairo covered it, like just the first verse and the chorus, because it's just a TikTok, but God, it was incredible.
Were you just like you're just in love, dude?
Well,
that's why
that's neither here nor there. Her singing is incredible and her guitar playing.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So I've been listening to that original song now because it's been introduced to me now.
Joni Mitchell? So, you've never listened to Joni Mitchell?
Oh, dude. I mean, I recognized. I mean, that might be her biggest song as far as I know. So I know that one, and I know that obviously that Clairo loves Joni.
Yeah.
She's very.
Joni Mitchell lived in Detroit.
What?
Joni Mitchell lived in Detroit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and the house that she lived in is like on my campus.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. See, I know she's like obviously like a legend, and I have nothing against her, but I just. Never like listened. I've never listened to her albums.
She has like a hand deformity, I think too.
Well, she had polio, as a child. So basically, like the way she plays guitar apparently is like super unique and different. Apparently, I've like just read this recently. But yeah, that song "Both Sides Now" is like incredible. It's so poetic and beautiful, and Clairo did a great job.
Yeah, so, it's a great song.
Yeah,
great song.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of what I've been up to. I've been just watching baseball, listening to music.
Ooh, the Tigers, man. The Tigers.
They suck, dude.
It's bad. It's gonna be a bad
year.
They're
terrible. Yeah.
First year.
But that's what I've been up to. So they're winning right now.
Oh, good. First one of the season, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. But yeah, it's pretty much all I got for today.
All right, man. Cool. I guess you want to wrap it up?
Yeah, I was gonna say you want to wrap it up. Yeah. So
I'll wrap it up.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
All right, everybody. That was our third installment of New Music Week, and you can catch this on every Friday or usually on the weekends every week.
Friday at noon is what we typically do.
Friday at noon. If not, it's usually Saturday at noon. It's pretty close to the day after, 2 days after. We usually get it out pretty on time if we have to push it back. So just catch us on Twitter, Instagram, Classic Mix Up Pod. It should be at the bottom of your screen if you're watching on YouTube. You can catch us at Spotify, Amazon Prime, anywhere you can listen to podcasts. We're on there, and our faces are on YouTube. So if you just want to look at us,
yes, sir.
If you want to have a parasocial relationship, we can be your friends. So just I guess if you want, I want to say a little, words. Just everyone stay happy out there. Spring's here officially. It's getting a little warmer, at least in Southeast Michigan. I don't know about you, Rosario, up in the UP.
Yeah, slowly but surely.
Um,
We're gonna hit 40 soon.
Yeah. Oh shit, it's like 60s here. So it's been
That sounds
raining and
nice.
green, and so it's been really nice. Just embrace yourself, everybody. Like if you got some shit going on that you're contemplating, like a new haircut, you want to get a nose piercing, you wanna ask a girl out, you wanna get a dog, you wanna go to Mexico, you wanna travel, buy a van and go to Colorado. Just do it, man. You're only young once, or you're only live. We don't really know if there's life after this, man. We'll never know. So just live like you won't be in this position ever again, because you won't. You won't. Time is a construct. We're only moving forward. So just do stuff that you would be happy at looking back, no matter if you regret it in hindsight, or just do what you feel like is going to make you happy, because that's what should really matter in life. So that's why I'm doing this podcast. It makes me happy. I get to talk to one of my best friends, Rosario, over here. So I hope you guys listening to that. Thanks for spending your time on us, and hopefully we're part of those good times, But yeah,
absolutely.
So everyone stay happy and healthy out there. Have fun. Summer's almost here.
Yeah. I couldn't have said it better, man. I'm thank you for tuning in and letting us, do what we love, I guess. Share with your friends, grow the brand, help us keep doing this. But yeah, I mean, I think you summed it up perfectly there. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you made it this far, we'll see you next week with our return to the normal format. Have a good week.
See you guys.